All right, let's just jump right in. We've all been there, right? You're stuck in your head, just turning a thought over and over and over again. Maybe you're replaying a conversation, maybe you're worrying about some decision you have to make. And a lot of us, well, we think this is just what it means to be aware or self-reflective. But what if that's not true at all? Today, we're going to dig into this really powerful idea, the huge difference between overthinking and awareness, and how just getting it can change, well, pretty much everything.
So you look at these two, and they might seem kind of similar on the surface. But the source material we're looking at makes a really bold claim. They aren't just a little different. They are complete polar opposites. You can think of one as mental friction. You know, those grinding gears in your head that just get you nowhere. And the other? That's mental flow. It's like a calm river, just moving effortlessly.
So, that's the big question we're tackling today. Are they really that different? Does this distinction actually matter? Well, as we're about to see, understanding the unique feel of each one is the absolute first step toward a pretty profound mental shift.
Okay, first up, let's get reacquainted with a state we all know, probably a little too well, overthinking. The material we're drawing from calls it the loud, heavy cycle, which is so perfect. So let's break down exactly what that feels like.
I mean, just think about it. When you're overthinking, your mind isn't just quietly humming in the background, it is shouting at you. It's this insistent, demanding voice inside your head that just sucks up all of your attention. There's zero peace, right? It's just constant mental noise.
And this is the perfect way to describe the movement of overthinking. Notice how it never really goes forward. It just goes in circles. It repeats the same worries. It replays the same old scenarios. And it's constantly trying to predict and control things that, let's be honest, are completely out of our hands. It really is like a hamster wheel for your mind.
So why in the world do we do this to ourselves? Well, according to the source, at its core, overthinking is driven by fear. It's running on this faulty belief that if we just analyze a problem one more time, if we just think it through again, we'll finally get the clarity and safety we're so desperate for.
And this is the result of all that circling, all that fear-based thinking. It creates this huge mental and emotional weight. It's exhausting. It feels heavy because, well, it is heavy.
All right, now let's completely shift gears and look at the other side of the spectrum. You know, if overthinking is a loud, crowded, noisy room, awareness is a wide-open field. The source calls it the quiet, spacious observer.
And the contrast is just immediate. Where overthinking is so loud and demanding, awareness is quiet. Now, this isn't about having no thoughts at all. It's more about being the silent backdrop, like the clear sky, and your thoughts are just clouds that appear and then disappear, without any struggle. And just look at the actions here. Awareness doesn't try to do anything to your thoughts. It just observes. It rests. It simply notices what's happening, both inside you and out. And here's the most critical part. It has no agenda. It's not trying to fix you or solve anything. It's just watching. And this definition right here is so key. Awareness isn't something you have to go out and build or somehow achieve. The idea is that it's our natural state. It's what's already there, just patiently waiting underneath all that noise for us to simply stop messing with our own mind.
And because awareness isn't trying to control everything, the feeling it creates is one of total openness and mental freedom. It feels spacious. All of a sudden, there's room to breathe. There's room for new ideas. And there's room for life to just unfold.
So, let's do a quick recap with this summary. The sound, loud versus quiet. The action, circling and analyzing versus just observing and resting. The motive, one is driven by fear. The other has no agenda at all. And the feeling, heavy versus spacious. I mean, when you see it laid out like this, side by side, the difference is just crystal clear, isn't it? Okay, so we've defined the two states. We get the difference. Now for the most important question. How do we actually get from that heavy, loud place to the spacious, quiet one? Well, the good news is it's actually way simpler than you probably think.
This is the question we always ask, isn't it? We frame it like it's a battle. How do I fight my thoughts? How do I conquer my mind and finally win this war? But here's the thing. That very question, that very mindset, is what keeps us stuck in the struggle.
And here it is. This is the big paradigm shift. The answer isn't to fight harder. The goal is not to get rid of your thoughts or to achieve some perfectly silent mind. In fact, trying to force silence usually just creates more noise. The real key is to change your relationship with that noise, to go from struggling against it to just allowing it.
So the whole process is really about letting go. Step 1, you just abandon the fight. Stop trying to force silence. Step 2, stop grabbing onto every single thought that pops into your head and taking it for a ride. And step 3, you simply allow them to drift by on their own.
This metaphor is just perfect. Think about it. You don't get angry at a cloud for being a cloud. You don't try to fight the rain. You just notice it, and you know it's going to pass. The invitation here is to treat our thoughts with that same kind of detached, observational quality. They're not you. They're just mental weather.
So what happens when you actually start practicing this? When awareness starts to become your default state instead of overthinking? Well, according to the source material, the result isn't just a calmer mind, it's an entirely new way of experiencing reality itself.
Remember how overthinking is based on that faulty belief that more analysis leads to clarity? Well, this just flips that whole idea on its head. True clarity, the kind that leads to really wise decisions, it doesn't come from wrestling with a problem. It comes from stepping back and simply seeing it from that quiet, spacious place.
And let's look at the huge transformation this creates. When you're stuck in that overthinking loop, life feels like a constant, never-ending problem that needs to be solved. Every conversation, every decision, it's all part of this minefield you have to navigate perfectly.
But from a place of awareness, all that pressure just dissolves. Life stops being a test that you might fail. Instead, it becomes this unfolding event to be witnessed and experienced directly, with all of its incredible textures and nuances.
And that's really the bottom line here. This isn't some small tweak or a minor life hack. Shifting your main way of operating, from compulsive thinking to open awareness, it fundamentally alters your entire experience of being alive. It just changes everything.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Just take a look at your own life right now. Is there an area where you've been caught in that heavy, loud cycle of analyzing and trying to fix things? What do you think might happen if you just let go of the need to solve it and instead just allowed yourself to experience it with quiet awareness? Something to think about.